Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are going to be learning to use command line tools in Python. This is possible using the OS module. The OS module can be used to perform a wide variety of tasks, from looking at files to running commands. So without further delay, let's get right into the video. The best part about the OS module is that you do not need to install anything. All you have to do to get access to it is type import OS. If we run this, we can see it works. The first function I'm going to show you will get the current folder that you are in. As you can see here, I am in a folder called Programming Basics, so the code I am about to show you will output Programming Basics. The first thing we'll do is define a variable. I'm going to call mine CWD, and the reason I'm calling mine CWD is because that stands for current working directory. A directory is the same thing as a folder, so Programming Basics is a folder and a directory, and the reason it's current working is it's because the folder that you are in now, I'm in Programming Basics, so Programming Basics will be the current working directory. The other reason I called it CWD is because that's what OS calls it as well. And next we are going to set the variable equal to a function called os dot, because we have to reference the module, os dot get current working directory, and then parentheses. This function will return Programming Basics and it will be set to our variable. So now if we print our variable, it will start from the very beginning, so C/users, all the way to Programming Basics, which is the current working directory that we are in. What if we wanted to change the current working directory that we are in? How would we do that? Well, OS has another function for that. It's called os.chdir, parentheses. chdir stands for change directory, or change the folder that you're in. For this example here, I've created a folder called test, and I will need quotes inside the parentheses and put the folder that you want to change to, and this folder has to be inside the previous folder. It can't be next to it, it has to be inside. And now this will change the directory that we're in. However, if we run it, we'll see that it still looks like it's the same directory. Why is that? Well, because we have to print out os.get current working directory again. And if we print it out this time, you can see that first it's our normal directory, and then it adds a /test on the end because we changed to a folder that is called test. Another way we can use the change directory function of OS is to go back one directory. The way we do that is by typing os.chdir, chdir, and then in the quotes, .. Now, what this means is it will go back one. That's what the ... means. And we don't even need the /, but the / is optional because after every folder you have a /. So now if I print out the new working directory of OS, you'll see that now it's no longer in the Programming Basics folder, it's in the PyCharm project, so it went one directory back. So you may be wondering, what's the point of changing the directory? What can we do with it? Well, one of the things you can do with it is list all the files in that directory. The first thing we do to do this is make a variable. I'm going to call it files and set it equal to a function os.list_dir, and in here we need a path. But that was the whole point of getting the current working directory, so that we can pass in our current working directory, and now when we print out files, it'll show all the files in our current working directory. So it'll show main.py, which is this Python file, test, which is the folder that we created, and then a hidden file and a folder that comes with PyCharm. Now that you know how to list all the files in a current directory, let's look at how you can remove those files in Python. For this example, I have created a file called file1.txt. It's a text file, and I've also kept the test folder we had from before. The first thing we need to do is make a path to that location, and the way we do that is by creating a variable called path and setting that equal to a function os.path.join, and in here we need two paths that we can join. The first is our current working directory, and the second is the name of the file, which is file1.txt. And when we print this, this will print out the path. So as you can see here, it's programming basics/file1.txt. And now all we need to do to remove it is do os.remove. And then in here we type the path. So now when we run this, you can see file1.txt went away, because as soon as we ran this script, it disappeared because it got deleted. We can also change this so that it is test, and then instead of remove, we can't remove a file because this is a directory, so we have to do os.rmdir, and this stands for remove directory. And then we pass in the path, and when we run this, you can see now the test folder went away because it got removed by this function. So you may be wondering, if we deleted files, how do you rename them? Well, the way you do that is by doing the os.rename function. This takes two arguments, file name, the old file name, and then the new file name. As you can see here, I have created a text file called file.txt. So in here we put file.txt, and then in here we put the new name for the file. In this case, I'll just say file1.txt. Notice how it's file before we run the program, and then once we run the program, you can see it changed to file1.txt. And if we wanted to call this script again, we would have to change it from file to file1 because that is the new name, and then we would come up with a new name. In this case, I'll just change it back to file.txt. Before we run it, you can see it's file1.txt, and after we run it, you'll see it changed back to file.txt. Now that we have looked at how you can rename and remove files, let's look at how you can read the contents of pre-existing files. For this example, I have taken the file.txt from previous example and I have modified it. As you can see, I wrote, "Hello, this is a test message" in here. Now, one interesting thing about this is that you don't actually need the OS module to read the contents of a file. It's pre-built into Python. The way we do this is by making a variable called file and then set it equal to a function called open. This function takes in 2 arguments, one of which is the file name. In this case, it would be file.txt, and it also takes in a mode. Now, for the purposes of this, I'm just going to put it on R, which means read. You can have read, read and write, but we just want to read the contents of the file. We don't want to modify the file itself. So now we'll make a new variable called text and set it equal to file, which is the variable we have here, dot open. And, no, that's wrong. Dot read, sorry, not dot open. We call it dot open here. Dot read. This will actually read the contents of the file. And now we can print our text. And before we run the program, we also want to close the file. So file.close. And this will close the file so we can no longer read it. Now, when we run the program, it'll print the text, which is, hello, this is a test message. As you can see, that was the same as in the text file, so it worked. Well, guys, that is everything that you need to know about the OS module. If you guys have any ideas for future videos, let me know in the comments section. Thank you for all the support, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!